record on this computer. Okay, so we are starting Unit 4, Lesson 7, Conditionals Practice, meaning that we're going to be practicing coding exercises. There's no warm up. I forgot to take that out. Okay, so what we are going to do is we're going to navigate to Lesson 7, Level 2 on Code Studio, and it will look like the screenshot right here on the left. You can actually click the title on this slide and it will take you directly there. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put that link in the chat too, just in case you are not on the Pear Deck. So here's a direct link to where you would want to go. If you are not really able to kind of look at your Pear Deck or sorry, not Pear Deck, if you're not able to watch me and be on code.org at the same time, don't worry, I am recording this so you can always go back and rewatch, but you are expected to do each of the exercises in lesson 7. In fact, this is going to be a homework assignment that will be due. I believe we can get this done by the end of the week, so I'm giving you until Sunday, the end of the night Sunday, to turn this in. But basically, normally if we were in the classroom, I would have you all kind of pair up and work together. But I want to make sure that everyone is kind of has the opportunity to work through this correctly. So we're going to work on it together. I'm going to kind of be asking you guys questions, and you can participate by either answering in the chat or hopping on the microphone to help me out. Hey, Jorge, how you doing? So we are working on puzzles on code.org today. Oh, great, you're at a store. Okay, so you're probably going to want to watch the video later to get these assignments done, these exercises done. Also, buy me some snacks, some tasty snacks. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to read the code and predict what will appear in the console. I don't know, something crunchy, something salty, something spicy. All right, so run the code and watch how each question is answered. Add code to answer the last two questions, and then you'll need to create a Boolean expression for each one. Okay, so let's just run the code. Oh, you work at DoorDash? So you're actually working, okay. All right, okay, you're kidding. Okay, so let's go ahead and just run the code, and you can see that it is asking questions. Is 3 less than 5? True. Is 3 equal to 5? False. Is 3 greater than 3? False. Is 2 times 2 greater or equal to 5? False. Is 10 less than or equal to 10? We have to add the code to actually make it write the correct answer. So what do we need to do? We need to add a piece of code on line 13 to actually write the correct answer. So we're going to have to add a Boolean expression that will evaluate if 10 is less than or equal to 10. What does that Boolean expression look like? Can you type that in the chat if you know? So this right here, how can you type that in JavaScript? Is 10 less than or equal to 10? Yes, Eric, thank you so much. So basically, I'm going to write that. I'm going to be in text mode, so I'm going to write that in a console.log. And if you don't remember what console.log does, it says it right here. It prints a message into the console, and this is the console down here. So my console.log, I want to put that Boolean expression that Eric just put in the chat. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy and paste that in there. Oops, I guess that did not copy, so I'll just type it. So 10 is less than or equal to 10. And then I always want to end my expressions, my statements, with a semicolon. It's like putting a period at the end of the sentence. So now, if I run this again, I'm going to make this a little faster so it'll go through. If I run this again, I should get a true for this one. And we can see that right here. So is 10 less than or equal to 10? And it prints out true. And that's because I put that expression in a console.log. This evaluated as true, so it printed that. Okay, we need to add another line down here to print out the truth value of this statement right here. So I want to check, is 10 minus 3 greater than 3 times 3? How would I write that in JavaScript? Someone could type that in the chat. Awesome. Okay. So again, I'm going to write that in a console.log. So I'm going to put console.log, and then I'm going to go ahead and put that Boolean expression that was provided in the chat. So we got 10 minus 3 is greater than 3 times 3. And then again, make sure you end that with a semicolon. Your messages aren't showing up. That's interesting. You might have to rejoin, but I think it's okay because I'll be repeating anything I see in the chat. Okay, so now if I run that again, oh, on code.org in the debug. Interesting. You might want to refresh and then maybe move the speed toggle thing to the rabbit. Yeah. So we can see that now that 10 minus 3, which is that? That's 7. Is that greater than 3 times 3? 9. That should be false. And we do indeed get false there. Okay. So again, don't worry if you're not able to do this along with me. If your screen is, I understand your screens are very small. If you have a district laptop, you can go back and watch the recording that I'm doing right now, or if you miss anything. Okay, so this is basically just printing out the truth statements of these Boolean expressions. And as we move on, we might see something a little bit more complicated. So let's go ahead and you need to run this at least once in order to get this finish button. So I'm going to go ahead and click on finished. Yeah, I have to verify that I am indeed finished. And we're going to take a look at the next one. Awesome. I'm glad that worked for you. Yeah, sometimes code.org is a little finicky, and if that happens, a good refresh usually solves it. Okay, let's see. The next one, again, we want to read the code and predict how questions 1 or 2 will be answered. Okay, so let's read through the code. So we've got question 1 right here. Is score plus lives. So here we've got score plus lives. So I'm going to go ahead and write a comment here. So score plus lives is the same thing as 10 plus 3, which is going to be 13. Okay, so is score plus lives less than 13? What do you think? So this is what's going to get printed out, the truth value of this Boolean expression. What's going to get printed out, true or false? Yeah, it's going to be false because we saw that score plus lives is 13. So really what we're asking is 13 less than 13? And that's false, right? 13 and 13 are equal. 13 can't be less than 13. So this is going to print out false. That's our prediction. Okay, now let's look at question number 2. This question is asking, is lives times 3 equal to score? So let's see, what is that actually saying? Lives times 3 is the same thing as 3, because 3 is, lives is 3. So 3 times 3, which is going to equal 9. Oops, 9. And what we're actually asking is 9 So lives times 3 equal to the score, and the score is 10. So what's going to get printed out at this stage? False again, right? 9 is not equal to 10, so we would expect to see false here as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're not going to worry about questions 3 and 4 because we have to add code for that to work. But let's go ahead and just check our predictions for the first 2 questions. So we're expecting to see false and false. So let's go ahead and run. And let's speed that up a little bit. So we do see false for question number 1, and we see false for question number 2. So our predictions are correct. So it was really important that we paid attention to the values of score and lives, and that we kind of rewrote it in terms of those current values. And I used comments to do that to help my thought process. So comments are super helpful, and I really recommend that you get in the habit of adding comments to your code. Okay, so the second part of this is now to add code to answer questions number 3 and 4. And we need to write Boolean expressions with variables this time. We want to use any existing variables like score and lives in our solution. So let's go ahead and work on question number 3 first. So how can I rewrite this English statement, this English question in JavaScript? Is score minus lives greater than 5? How would I write that? Thank you, Raslin. Yeah, and I appreciate that you also put it in a console.log because we do need to print out that truth value. So Raslin went ahead and said the way we are going to write that is score and then the minus symbol and then the variable name lives, the greater than symbol, and then the actual number 5. Yes. So we are using the existing variables to write this Boolean expression. Awesome. So let's see, what would we expect the answer to be? So we know that score is 10 and lives is 3. So we're asking, so score minus lives equals, what was it, 10 minus 3? That's going to be 7. Okay. So what we're actually asking is 7 greater than 5? Okay, so we're going to predict, since 7 is greater than 5, we're going to go ahead and predict that this is going to print out true. And we'll check that in just a bit. Let's move on to question number 4. So now we're going to go ahead and add, I don't know why there's a comment there. I'll leave it there because maybe we'll use it. Okay, so what would we write in JavaScript for this next question? Is score times 2 greater than or equal to the lives times 10? Awesome, let's go ahead and take a look at that. So I'm going to paste that in there. So let's see, is the score times 2, yep, greater than or equal to, we've got greater than or equal to, lives times 10, and that's lives times 10. Awesome, yeah, great job. So let's go ahead and predict what this is going to output. So what we're asking is score times 2, So score is 10 times 2, that's going to be 20. And then we're also needing to evaluate lives times 10, lives times 10, oops, 10. And that is 3 times 10, which is going to be 30. So what we're asking in this question is 20 greater than or equal to 30? And that's not right, right? 20 is less than 30, so we're going to expect to see a false on this one. Okay, so for those final two answers, let's scroll up to that question number 3. We predicted that we're going to see a true because 7 is greater than 5. And for the fourth one, we predicted that we would see a false because 20 is not greater than or equal to 30. So let's go ahead and run this one more time. And our prediction of true for question number 3 is there. And our prediction of false for question number 4 is also there. So we predicted correctly and we coded this correctly. And we did that together. Awesome. Okay. Any questions on this one? So again, just as a reminder, you will have to eventually do this code on your own account. So if you're just watching now, that's totally fine, but make sure that you go back and actually do these because these exercises are going to be part of your homework due Sunday night. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to click finish. And let me know if there's any questions. Feel free to interrupt me on the microphone or typing in the chat. All right, so let's look at number 4. And number 4 is asking us to read the code for questions number 1 through 3, and we have to predict the answers. Okay, so let's start with number 1. Let me see if I can fit this on the screen here. That's not going to work. All right. Oh, I can minimize that. There we go. Okay, so looking at question number 1, it's asking, am I eating more than 3 fruit servings and more than 5 vegetable servings? Okay, so this is notice that this is a compound, right? It's using an and. So let's first rewrite this in terms of what the value of fruit servings is and the amount of veg servings is. So what we're really asking is 3 greater than 3, right? Because fruit servings you can see is 3. And that is true, right? No, it's not. What is it? It's false. 3 is not greater than, silly Kazemi, come on. 3 is not greater than 3. Okay, so we've got a false on that side. And then we have an and here. How do we get a true when we have an and? What's the only combination that we'll evaluate as true if we have an and? Do you remember? Yeah, both sides have to be true. So I'm already seeing a false on the left-hand side. So I don't even care about this right-hand side. I could just go ahead and say that this whole thing is going to be false because I already know that both sides aren't true. I know that the left-hand side is false. So I don't even have to look at the rest of this. I don't really care. I know that the whole thing is going to be false because as Adam said, both sides have to be true for an and statement to be true. So I'm predicting that this first one is going to go ahead and evaluate to false, and we'll check that in just a bit. Let's go ahead and look at question number 2 and 3, and then we'll run this and see if our predictions are correct. All right, let's look at question number 2. Am I eating 4 or fewer grain servings and 4 or fewer fruit servings? All right, so let's go ahead and put that in terms of the actual values. So it's really asking is, let's see, what's grain servings? 4. So 4 is less than or equal to 4. Is that true or false? 4 is less than or equal to 4. Is that true or false? That is true, right? Because of that equal symbol in there. All right, so that means that we're still in the process of evaluating. We know that this still has a possibility of being true because the left-hand side is true. Now we have to check to see if the right hand is also true. So let's go ahead and evaluate that right-hand side. It's saying is fruit servings, which is 3, less than or equal to 4. What is that? What's that going to be, true or false? That's also going to be true, yes. Okay, so now we have true and true. And as Adam said, that's the only combination that's going to lead to the whole thing being true. So let's go ahead and predict that that's going to print out true. All right, last one. Let's go ahead and look at this one. So we need to find out, am I eating exactly 5 grain servings? Or, so because we have an or, either side can be true, or any amount besides 2 fruit servings. Okay, so let's see. What we're asking is grain serving, so that's 4, equal to 5? No, that's silly. 4 is not equal to 5, so we're going to go ahead, place. Not place, but false. Okay, but we do have an or here, so we know that we need to continue evaluating the statement because for an or, we just need one side to be true for the entire thing to be true. So let's go ahead and evaluate the right-hand side as well. And it says fruit servings is not 2. So fruit servings is 3. So what we're asking is 3, oops, put that in there, 3 not equal to 2? Where's the 4 from? Oh, good question. So on this one, they were asking, is grain servings exactly 5? I looked at grain servings up here, and we see that it is set to 4. So that's where I got that for. Yeah. And then for fruit servings, I did the same thing. I looked up here, and that's equal to 3. And that's why I'm asking, is 3 not equal to 2? So what do you think about this one? Is this true or false? Is 3 not equal to 2? Think about what that's asking. Is 3 not equal to 2? It would be true. The only case where this would be false is if we said, is 2 not equal to 2? Since 2 and 2 are the same, it's false that it's not equal to 2. But we have some other number like 3. 3 is not equal to 2. It's a completely different value. Okay, so now we've got false or true. We see that one side, this side right here, is true. And we know that in an or, only one side has to be true for the whole thing to be true. Okay, so because we have false or true, oops, I need to put that in a comment outside of there. For some reason, my left arrow key randomly stopped functioning the other day. All right, so false or true is gonna be true. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and predict that it's going to print out true. So our predictions are as follows: false for number one, true for number two, and true for number three. So let's go ahead and check those predictions. All right, I need to bring up this console, speed it up a bit. Okay. Oh, there's a breakpoint there. Let's continue. Okay. So number one we predicted is false. That is accurate. Number two, we predicted true, and it printed that out. And number three, where'd you go? Number three, we predicted true, and it also printed out true. Okay, awesome. So let's see if we can finish up this exercise before class is over. What we need to do now is we need to write our own Boolean expressions that reflect these questions. So question number 4 is asking, am I eating exactly 3 grain servings or exactly 3 fruit servings? So how would we write that? And we would want to write that on line 26. How would we write that in JavaScript? So this question right here. And remember, we do have, we have variables that we can use. That's okay, Samara. I'm recording, so anything you miss, you'll be able to see later on the recording. So let's take a look at Eric's answer. So Eric went ahead and he used the grain servings variable that was declared on the top here. So he went ahead and put his grain servings equal to, right? The double equal symbol is checking for equality to 3. So that's the same thing as asking, am I eating exactly 3 servings of grain? And then there's an or here. So he went ahead and put that or operator. And then we needed to check if we were eating exactly 3 fruit servings. So he went ahead and put fruit servings is equal to 3. Awesome. Starting to lose my voice randomly. Let's see, do I have water? All right, I'm good. I am good. Okay, so yeah, this is absolutely correct. Could you swap the order? Could you put 3 on this side and fruit servings on this side? Sure. Because we're checking for equality, that would work. But we'll leave it like this. And let's see. Can you predict what's going to print out? So grain servings is 3, right? Grain servings, no, that's 4. So this part would be false. 4 is not equal to 3, but fruit servings is 3. So 3 is equal to 3. This should be true. Okay. And then really quickly, we started class a little late, so let's go ahead and just finish up this last one. Question number 5. Am I eating 5 or fewer vegetable servings and any amount besides 5 grain servings? How would you write that in JavaScript code? This one right here. Thank you, Raslin. Let's go ahead and check this one out. Oops. Keep forgetting that I have to select it this way. Okay. So she went ahead and used veg servings, which is up here. So we're checking to see if veg servings is less than or equal to. So that's the same thing as eating 5 or fewer, to 5. And then we have an and here. So she included that operator. And then any amount besides 5, so not equal to 5. We're checking to see if grain servings is not equal to 5. So let's see, what is that going to be? Grain servings is 4. 4 is definitely not equal to 5. And then veg servings is 5. 5 is less than or equal to 5. We have true and true. So we're going to predict that this whole thing is going to be true. Let's check it. Reset. Let's check number 4, which we said was going to be, we said it was going to be true. Let's check that out in just a second. And then question number 5, we said it was going to be true, so that's awesome. All right, what did we do here? Question number 4. Grain servings is 4. So grain servings is 4, that's false, but then we have an or here. Fruit servings is exactly 3. And that is true, so that should be true. Why is it giving us a false? That's interesting. Let's see. Oh, I see. It is because we have a parenthesis here that is closing the console.log. So let's just, well, what we can do is we can actually just add one right here. There we go, and then add one here. So now we have grain servings is equal to 3, grouped with parentheses, and then or fruit servings is equal to 3, grouped with parentheses. Before it was only checking to see if grain servings was equal to 3, because we had a closing parenthesis that was closing out console.log prematurely. And so we were getting a false that way. Let's go ahead and run it one more time. And now we do see that it is indeed true as we predicted. Awesome. So a little bit of debugging there. Always a great skill to have. Okay, so we got through 3 of these. What I would like you to do for homework is to just attempt, a few of these, maybe 6, 7, and 8, or 5, 6, and 7 rather. Just try them on your own, and we will look into doing those on Friday together, and hopefully be able to do a large chunk of these. And you'll try to do the rest of them for homework by Sunday. And if there's any remaining questions on them, we can look at those on Monday after that. All right. I'll stick around in case there's any questions, but I hope you all have a good lunch. And I'm still expecting those snacks, Jorge. So I'll see you all on Friday. Bye, everyone.